Hey,
I'm Rose.
and I'm Carolina.
And this is Water
Into
into
One.
One, where we drink a glass of wine and read a Bible story. Today we're going to be reading the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. I just wanted to give a little backstory. So Jesus is traveling with his disciples and he hears of his friend Lazarus becoming sick. And he's a little worried, but he's like, I'm going to give it a couple days, see what happens. And Lazarus ends up passing away. So Jesus travels to Bethany, and at first he comes across Lazarus' sister, Martha, and Martha's filling him in on what's going on, and Jesus tells her, your brother will rise again, and she's pretty much says, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day, but that's not what Jesus was talking about. So they went and they got Mary, the other sister, and they traveled to Lazarus' tomb where he's been dead for 4 days.
Yeah.
4 days. All right. So this is found in John chapter 11, verses 38 through 44. Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Take away the stone, he said. But Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, by this time there is a bad odor. He has been there 4 days. Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, take off the grave clothes and let him go.
Okay, so he brought him back from the dead.
Yeah.
He definitely,
like the dead.
After 4 days, he brought him back from the dead just by word.
Yeah, he said, come out here.
And that's a lot different from the last story that we read, that he actually
touched.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He just has no limit to his power, because this just got way more powerful.
Right.
That's insane.
And if you do go back and read before this, he knew when he was sick, and he didn't wait to leave until 2 days after he passed away.
I wonder, probably to make it more powerful, right? Like that he has been there for 4 days. It wasn't like, because if he would have waited a little bit longer, maybe it wouldn't be such a powerful message. Like,
and you know what? I also feel like he could have did that because he's the resurrection's about to happen. His resurrection's about to happen. They're about to, right after this, the religious leaders start plotting to kill him.
And he already knew that?
Like, he knows what's going to happen.
Right, and Mary knew too? Because she said something about...
Everyone that follows him knows that he is going to be crucified and he's going to be resurrected.
Oh, everybody knows that.
Everybody, that's what's prophesied.
Oh, right, because they talk about... Yeah, like they have meetings and all that type of stuff, right? Like church. They talk about, okay.
So I feel like this, the more time he waited and stretched it out, made it more believable that it could actually happen.
True.
Because I feel like that right there.
Oh, so when Mary was saying, yes, I know, but she was talking about Jesus.
Yeah, when
she didn't expect him to do that to her.
Yeah. Like, he will rise again. And she already knew, because she's all like, yeah, I know, everyone will rise again through you. Yeah, but Jesus was talking about, like, literally.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to like explain. I know usually we just hop right into the scripture, but I just felt like I had to try to explain a little bit more.
Because I was reading all that and I'm like, it was a lot. I wonder, that was good that you, with the way you went back to it and then did that, because they definitely needed that background story before.
Yeah, that area. And like, I mean, there's even more background story to Mary and Martha and Lazarus.
Yeah, same as everything that we read. I feel like there's so much.
And we're gonna get into it. It's more exciting when you're all like, oh,
like you know the story, like you know the full story, the full backstory, like you know everything.
Yep.
Okay, so that's crazy. So now he has more followers than before. So now, because now he brought back somebody from the dead. I would even want to know, like, how did Lazarus feel after? You know,
right? Just like rising,
especially, or even in that moment. Yeah, like, what did he do after? Did he realize that he died? What did he? Did they explain what he seen, what he went through those 4 days?
No kidding. And like even they said like you don't want to move that stone because it probably smells by now.
Right.
Like bodies start to decay.
Yeah.
And I'm almost kind of wondering if they like, you know, buried him and then moved the tomb over the stone. Because like tombs back then are like literally, or like grave sites were just big tombs. And like there'd be multiple people in there. And I don't know. Was he just in there dead the whole time, or
had to be?
Do you think that he was like?
No, he had to be dead.
You think so?
Because he had a whole stone over him. And what else was he like wrapped up as well? They said something, right?
Yeah, because when you die, they would like wrap you like to help preserve you. Yeah, kind of like a mummy, exactly. Yeah. Like mummies are real things. Like the Egyptian people did that to like preserve everything.
So I wonder if that's. I wonder. See, even the after, we would need a little bit of the after story, or no?
Is there? It just says right here, religious leaders plot to kill Jesus next.
Oh yeah, and also another thing was, so the place that they stay at, that he's at now, that's the same place that they had stoned him, and even his disciples were telling him, "Why would you go back? Yeah, why would you go back there? Because they just try to stone you to death already."
Right.
And he went anyways. Jesus, he must have been extremely fond of this man because because he brought him back from the death, and he could have brought anybody back to do this message. You know what I mean? Because in the last story that we wrote, not the last story, I think it was the second one of the feeding 5,000. He was grieving from his family member dying.
Right. Yeah, John the Baptist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this, I don't know. I could just read this little bit. It says, "Where have you laid him?" He asked. "Come and see, Lord," they replied. Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Since he healed the blind man.
Like, why do you even let him die?
Right. But I really do feel like it was to prove to them that it could be possible for the resurrection.
So even when Jesus said, "Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. Let us go to him." So that's why he did let him die, because he wanted to make more people believe in him, because that's his whole purpose of being on earth right now, is to make people believe in him.
Right.
So to be able to make these miracles, he has to let certain things happen. So that's why he said that.
Right. Oh, it's just so crazy. Crazy.
Every time we see how more and more powerful God is, and that is why we're supposed to have such fear of God, because he can make anything happen at any moment, and something that we didn't even think that he could do. He could definitely do anything.
Right. But just like how there are everyone. It said it multiple times. Couldn't you just go there? If he would have gotten here before he died, he would have never died.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes certain things have to happen for him to come through. Like we have to go through certain things for
Yeah.
what's supposed to happen to be done.
Yeah, because that's the whole. That's how God. That's His message to us. Is like He doesn't give you what you want. He gives you what you need.
Right. Yeah. He has the power to do anything.
Yeah. When I had asked Rose who Lazarus is, because I felt like he must have been a smart, or not smart, he must have been like an important person to him. So I'd asked her, and she had looked up that the first time he had met Lazarus was at 13 years old.
Yeah,
Was
him
that?
and his sisters. So
Yeah.
Jesus has been knowing Lazarus since he was a teenager, a kid.
And weird to think that Jesus was ever those type of ages, because
Well,
when we
there
think
are
of Jesus,
stories.
we think of adult
Adult
Jesus.
Jesus. A lot of people do. A lot
Yeah.
of people
What
do.
stories of what?
They have stories of when Jesus was little and stuff like that.
Did he ever do anything like that, or was he mostly just like regular?
Well, he was just growing and
Growing
like
up.
learning. Yeah. The first thing he ever did
How did
was
he
the
find out
water
he was
into
Jesus?
wine.
How did he
Wait,
know?
he always knew he was Jesus.
So he was born as an infant, just knowing his purpose.
I would assume so.
Because
I
no,
can't
because
say.
feeling now that 13 years old, I wonder. I mean, I guess because his
Well,
parents.
Mary knew.
Yeah, his parents would relay.
Yeah, Mary and Joseph knew, and I feel like he just knew he's God, Jesus, God, same.
Yeah, I
Same
wonder if he
thing.
had any. God must have spoken to him a couple times. I wonder have you seen any stories like that where God speaks to Jesus?
Jesus goes and speaks to God a lot. I'm not necessarily. I can't recall.
When he prays to him.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is praying to him, because I remember when we were again back to the same story about like the feeding 5,000, he was in the mountaintop praying to God, because that is the time that he needs to speak to him and get his
Right.
yeah. So he probably just prayed a lot growing up and just knew.
Yeah, that's how he.
So
I
weird.
mean, God does communicate.
It threw me
with
off
us.
when you said 13 years. I'm like, oh, like he was.
He was a little kid.
Yeah.
He was born.
Yeah.
He was born in a manger.
Right. I actually
In
took the kids
swaddling clothes.
to a movie the other day, yeah, like last night, and it was about the Christmas story.
Oh yeah.
And Jesus was born in the barn and stuff we were talking about. Like,
yeah,
because it's. Yeah, that was cool.
Ooh, it's almost Christmas.
I know. Yeah, I took them too early, but because
okay.
I took on my Christmas tree. So.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Christmas so much. Like Jesus is literally the best part about Christmas, and it just makes me so happy. I don't even know.
Yeah, and now that I'm like going more into my faith recently, thanks to us and this podcast to you, I feel like it's gonna be a so much more beautiful Christmas for us, because I feel like I'm gonna start like telling the stories that we're reading and all that stuff, and like learning more with them, because my interest in God has risen a great amount since we started this.
Yeah, you should definitely find somewhere to go to watch like a Christmas like a church Christmas story, because like the little kids singing and like telling the story about how Jesus was like born with like the angels and the shepherds.
Yeah,
it is such a great. It's like so great.
Yeah, that's what the story was about. Was that story, and them making a play of it, so it was like kind of explaining the story.
It.
Yeah,
I literally did that every year of my life.
Really?
Every Christmas.
Wow.
It was the same verses and everything. It was a lot of fun, and I don't know.
Well, you did plays?
School, but
you did the Christmas plays
we
and
all
stuff?
had to do it.
But in churches? Oh, because your school was about that.
My school, yeah. And then we would do the thing. It was always in the church.
Oh, okay.
But it was a whole thing.
Is it bringing back memories when you do stuff like this?
Yeah,
right?
So fun. I'm like all ready for Christmas now. I don't know. That's like one thing I miss the most about like the church I was in growing up. And it was just like super traditional, and like we'd have like the Christmas hymns and like the pageant and everything like that, and I don't know. I really do like my church. It's a really great church, and I really like their worship service, but sometimes I really wish that they would throw it back.
A little more traditional.
Yes, yeah. Especially when it comes to stuff with like communion and other things. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some stuff just feels a little better when it's a little more like what you're used to or what
Yeah.
like traditional.
Yeah, I know.
But this is the last miracle we're gonna read about.
Is it really?
Wrapping up the first little series we did with the 7 miracles from John.
Wait, so this is our last miracle right now?
Yeah.
Oh, so now we gotta go on something completely different. What did you say?
I don't know. Maybe we'll read about Martha and Mary. You want to read about Martha and Mary?
I don't know.
Next?
Yeah, I guess, or like, I'll see. We'll see. I'll continue to see what else that I want to like read because now we can go into anything, huh?
Yeah, we can go into anything. When you think of a Bible story, what's the first thing that pops in your head?
Oh, girl, I have no clue. I don't have nothing in my head that pops up.
Nothing.
No.
Not one. Not just like one random one that you.
Bro, I didn't know anything of the Bible. No, this is the most I've ever read in the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no stories in my head, nothing.
Know.
But I mean, I guess I can like go into my Bible and start reading a little bit and see what I find or like what, and then we could talk about it and see what we choose to talk about next week. I have a
whole list. I'm so excited.
You have a whole list?
I'm ready.
Because you already know stories.
I'm so ready. I'm really happy we're doing this because this really gets me in like the spirit to like get out there and like how my pastor would say, be the eye or the hands and feet of Jesus.
Wow. Yeah. Actually, this weekend we're gonna start. What is it that we're gonna do?
We're gonna pack backpacks.
Yeah.
For children in Haiti. We're doing meal prep too. 250,000 meals.
Wow.
And that's so crazy because I know a lot of people go off about, I know money is a very sensitive subject to a lot of people, especially when it comes to churches.
Yeah.
But without all of that giving, they would not be able to do stuff like this. I mean, they do food drives and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's just something to keep in mind because churches really do a lot for other people. Every time I'm like, even in my mom's Facebook page for like, people will be all like, do you know where I can find resources for this and this and this? And a lot of people recommend churches because churches do a lot for the community.
They do, yeah. That is so true. That is so true. There is always like, oh, go to the church, they'll do this and that. Go to the church. Yeah. That's true. They need support to be able to support the community. That makes sense.
Exactly. Just some fruit for thought. But
okay, well, thank you for listening, guys. We're excited for everything coming up. Yeah, we're also we're getting closer to setting up our little our area. Yeah, right, to get a little more professional.
Like yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm so excited. We just need a camera person. Let us know if you're interested. All right, well, we'll see you guys next week. Make sure you tune in. We'll keep you posted on what we do.
Check our TikTok too.
Yeah, check out our TikTok. But I'm pretty sure that we might just go right into Martha and Mary.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you for all the support.
All right.
All right, stay blessed.
Bye. Bye.